This is Timberborn. It is one of the cleverest little colony building games I have ever seen. Basically the pitch is it's a post-apocalyptic Earth. You can see sort of this ruined city over here that has been taken over by beavers. So beavers have now evolved sentience, and they are here to build not just dams but entire little steampunk towns. And I am here for it. It's hard to explain exactly what makes this game more interesting than other colony builders, because I've tried out a bunch of new colony builders that have come out over the past little while. I love RimWorld, obviously. I loved Banished when Banished was new. There's a lot of Banished alikes that come out all the time, and I keep trying them, and I keep just not being engaged with them, partly because a lot of them are just not really treading any new territory. They're not trying anything new, aside from just, hey, I think I can do what Banished did as well. There's a few that do stand out. There's one called, what's it called? Dice Legacy or something like that seems interesting. I'm planning on checking that one out. But this one is doing something really cool. It's actually kind of partway between Banished and Oxygen Not Included. That's the name of that game. Because it's basically, it's a colony builder inside a giant fluid simulator. So this river here is really, really central to how the game works. You can see it starts at the edge of the map all the way up here. So I've got this little place. This produces water and shoves it out the door. And so you'll see the water is flowing downhill through this canyon, out into this lake, down this river, all the way here, and then out of the level somewhere in this direction. Over here, out of the level over there. And so this is what it looks like under normal conditions, but there is a sort of a weather cycle in this world where you get drought seasons. And during the drought season, the river stops flowing. It dries up at the source. And slowly the water just flows out of the level. And you'll notice that most of the ground is gray and cracked and dry. And only land that is close to water is green. And so you've got all of these little farms. I've got all my little beavers working in these little farms, growing carrots and potatoes and things like that. All these farms will dry up the moment the water goes away. And so as a beaver, one of my major tools is building dams. And so I've built all these dams to retain the water during the dry season. So you can see I've got this dam right here that keeps all of this water here, this deep water, which I've got water pumps pumping out so that the beavers have something to drink. And then I've got this dam here, which also kind of keeps the water around these pumps. These pumps tend to pump it out pretty fast, though. Then up here, I've got a dam protecting these pumps. And then this is the dam that is my pride and joy, because I not only built this dam right here, but I also built a levee over here. And I created this lake. Originally, the water just flowed down this little riverbed here, but I created this lake so that I could grow these carrots here on this peninsula, these potatoes, and just have this whole area for farming. And I could build more farms over here as my population increases. But I built this, and I feel like really proud of it. So I haven't played a colony sim in a while that really gave me this sense of sort of creative problem solving, the same part of your brain you use when you're playing a Zack-like. You use to sort of solve these problems in creative ways, yourself. And then so I just feel like I've built this little town full of these little beavers with my own cleverness. And obviously the developers planned out that this lake would be easy to make. It's not like I invented it out of whole cloth. But exactly where I put the dams, that was up to me. And there's a bunch of different ways you could manipulate this world. You could dam this up, and you could actually send the river going down into this lake and down this way instead, and not do this lake at all. If I'd wanted to, I could have done a completely different approach. So there's just a ton of creative freedom. And another thing, look, you can actually build. This is 3 individual buildings. This is a stack of 3 buildings. You can build, it's not just the dams. You can build vertically, like these little, see how I kind of stacked up things to build this tall dam? It's not just the dams you do that with. It's every building that doesn't have something fancy on the top can be stacked up. And so you can build this, these beaver skyscrapers. Like this little sort of apartment complex here. This is just a bunch of different little buildings that I randomly stacked on top of each other, and these beavers are just sort of, it's this bustling hive of activity. So yeah, so you get to make so many cool little things with this game. So let me catch up with the chat a little bit in case somebody said something here. Koger69 says, so technically you could flood the whole map. Sort of, yeah, I think you kind of could, except, I mean, it would take an enormous, I mean, I would have to build an enormous dam around the entire outside of the map in order to do it. Because the water's going to keep flowing downhill and it's going to keep finding other ways to go. Like, if I built a really tall dam right here and blocked the water would just flow down this way. And maybe that would be pretty cool. That would, like, spread around, get a lot of water and a lot of land. But still, there would always be the higher ground that would be protected. So, yeah, anyway, so this is kind of a built-up community. There's a lot going on here, and it's probably difficult to see exactly how everything works. So what I'm thinking is, I should probably save this game. I'll just call it first game, so I can come back and find it later. But then, let's go out to the main menu. And this game is still in early access, by the way. They're still working on it. Let's start a brand new game from scratch using what I'm familiar with. So the same faction that I've already tried, the Folk Tales. So the plains, this is the map that I'm already on. There's like a canyon, a diorama. You notice that they're all different sizes. I'm going to go with the one that I'm familiar with just because I'm trying to do a demo of the game. But you can see there are a bunch of different options, which I'm eager to go and try out once I feel like I've mastered the plains. Let's go with the plains. Let's go normal difficulty. This is the same setup that I have in the game you just saw. But we're going to start at the actual beginning. Koger says, this is quite interesting. It looks like if you play for a long time, you'll have to relocate your towns to higher ground. Yeah, no, that is absolutely true. It's not that you would have to. It's just there's a lot of choices that you could make that could lead you to wanting to move a town. But okay, so this is where you start. You can see this is where I used to have my farms. This is where I used to have some of those dams. This is where the lake used to be. But you can see that, none of it has been manipulated yet by my, ambitions. And so now I've got to figure out what to do first. So the very first thing that I think is important to worry about is making sure that these beavers have enough food and water to survive. And so that's going to mean a couple of things. I'm going to have to start harvesting trees to get the resources that it takes to build stuff. And I'm going to need to start harvesting these berry bushes. So the building a village in Timberborn is really all about where the paths go. Beavers can only go where there are paths. Well, not true. Builders can go outside of paths, and there's a few different professions that can kind of stray in an area. But buildings only work if everything is connected by paths. So you have to connect beavers' homes to the places where they work, to the places where they get food, to the recreation locations, that sort of thing. And so to start off here, what I'm going to want to do is make sure that there's a beaver, at least one beaver, gathering food over here with these bushes. And we need to have some beavers cutting down trees so that I can plant stuff. And so that I can build things. Oh, there's my daughter. Let me make sure that... Okay, cool. No problems. Okay, so now, when I first started playing this game, I really wasn't sure what my ambitions were going to be. And so I built things in kind of random places. I feel like now that I've played once, I can think ahead and plan a little bit better. Like, for instance, I devoted only some of the land that's over here sticking out in the middle of the water. I only devoted some of this land to farming. But actually, this is one of the best places to farm because it's one of the, it's surrounded on all sides by water. I can dam up this part of the water over here and retain a whole bunch of it. The only thing that would be better is if this was by deeper water, because the deeper the water is, the longer it sticks around as it starts drying out. And I don't really have anywhere near my initial base, except right here, I guess. I've got some deeper water. So the idea of eventually spreading out in this direction to build farms and building mostly farms around here sounds good. I think my non-farm buildings, I should probably try to keep up in this area where, there's not any value to, to building farms here because it's all dried, cracked ground anyway. Though, once I clear this debris right here, the water's going to flow into this little lake, and that is going to fill in a little bit more of this ground with greenery. Anyway, so let's get started. So I'm going to want to have somebody harvesting food. So we'll stick a gatherer flag in a place where, the person can reach all of the nearby bushes on this level. I don't know if there's a good place I can stick it where they can... Yeah, if I put it upstairs, that could work, except that I don't think I can actually build stairs yet. So I could use these natural stairs here, but this starts to get really far away from base. So let's just not worry about these bushes over here. Let's just take the bushes that are down below. So I'll put that gatherer flag right there. In fact, we could assign 2 beavers to be gatherers. So let's build a path that connects to the base. And then we also need some beavers grabbing lumber. So that's in the wood department. And so I think that the first place I want to clear out of trees is down here, because this is where I'm going to want to build my farms and a lot of my water pumps and stuff eventually. So let's place the lumberjack in a position where it could also grab the other trees if it wants to. So let's put our lumber gatherer right here. This is a pretty cheap building. I could probably move it easily if I need to. So let's do a couple of lumber gatherers there. And so they only become real when I connect them to a path. All right, so we'll get the beavers moving. So you'll see they run over here and they build these little flags. I don't think these cost any resources to build. So this is a game where Cloudcraft and I usually actually play games like this by going all the way up to maximum speed and then pausing frequently. So this is saying, oh, there's nothing to do. Oh, that's right. So I've built the lumber yards, but I have not actually marked trees as cuttable. So the lumber guys are not going to do anything until I mark some trees. So let's mark these trees as cuttable. So we'll get our lumber guys down here chopping the trees down. We want somewhere to put the trees. So let's build a log pile. Where's a good place for a log pile? I kind of want it to be close to the lumber flags. So why don't we just put it here? Really accessible to everybody. And then we should also build a small warehouse. Warehouses are really nice to build on top of. So let's leave some space around this warehouse. Actually, yeah, let's back it up a little bit from the greenery, because there's no reason for it to be on green terrain. Actually, I probably should have done that with the... Let's do that with the log stockpile too. Let's build the log pile set back a little bit from the greenery. Like that. There we go. You want to have enough space between them that you can sort of, extend the path and build around them. Okay, so now we've got all of our we've got some builders, some beavers assigned as builders right here. Vobinus and Tails are beavers, are builders. So they're going to run around building. So this one needs 15 logs. And so the beavers that are chopping trees down are providing the logs. They would normally be going in here, but I think that we're using them quickly enough. I think that these flags, basically what the beaver does is they go out to the tree, chop it down, bring the log back here. And then somebody eventually will haul the log into here if they've got nothing better to do, or if I've got officially assigned haulers. But right now, we're never getting to that step. People are grabbing the logs directly out of the flag areas and just bringing them straight here. But right now, it's nighttime, and all of my beavers are asleep. They're so cute. So none of them have homes, and that's kind of a sad time for them. Let me look real quick. So yeah, so I have not yet unlocked the ability to make stairs, which means I can't really stack up buildings on top of each other yet, because even if I did, the characters couldn't get to them. So let's build sort of the foundation of what will eventually become my enormous beaver apartment complex by building sort of a cluster of homes around in this area. Each of these, I think, can hold 3 beavers, something along those lines. And so this should be good. We just need to connect them with paths. So I'll have the path kind of go around this in a little circle there. I do have a tendency to kind of get ahead of myself with my planning. It'll take the beavers a while to build these houses. And one thing that I have not done yet is build water pumps. That's actually way more important. So let me get that going real fast. Water pumps are here. We need at least one water pump providing water to these beavers. And I should put the water pump as close to like this end of the water as possible. So let's have a water pump right here. And we'll build a small water. Well, let's build a path to it first. Then let's build a. I think the next water pumps I build. Where am I going to build future water pumps? I don't want to like use up space that I would need. Probably like one here and one here. Okay, so let's build the water tanks on the other side. So for right now, let's just do one water pump and one water tank, but we're going to be massively expanding that operation. And let's actually make these super high priority. So the builders will build these before they build the homes. Because beavers are capable of sleeping outside, famously. But they're not capable of living without water. So we need to start pumping water out. So you can see they're grabbing all the logs that they can find and moving them here. Oh, they're getting thirsty. They're getting thirsty. I should have done this earlier. Oh, no. I could totally lose some beavers to this. I don't want to lose beavers. See, it's been so long since I... Okay, so they're starting to pump water, but they haven't built the storage yet. And now it's nighttime. Oh, they're all going to die of thirst. This is going to be a bust from the beginning because I forgot to build the water pump first. Oh, I'm so sad. We're going to watch some beaver death. Oh, Cogs points out that this is scientifically inaccurate because beavers actually are nocturnal. Okay, well, I guess, it just looks so nice to be able to watch them work in daylight that I think that's probably that's an okay compromise. Okay, so they have run out of fully grown trees, so that's okay. We can start cutting this other forest, though eventually we're going to run out of trees, and it's going to be bad, and we're going to have to start figuring out how to plant our own trees. But that's fine. We'll get there. Okay, we're getting closer and closer to having an actual water storage, which means once we have water storage, the guy operating the pump can just start filling this tank, and then we've got some resiliency against, people running out of water. Like this guy who's thirsty, he can just go to the tank. It's great. So hopefully the water pump guy is going to, once we've kind of overcome our thirst deficit, he's going to start filling up this tank, and he's going to start making a profit on water. Okay, so we want to get the beavers' homes. Eventually, what you'll do is like if you've got a nice town, beavers will come if you've got extra space in your homes. And so because I've made room, I believe this is room for 9 beavers. These 3 homes. Oh yeah, and I've actually got a 9th beaver now. It looks like. I think. Oh yes, we've got 9 adult beavers and 2 child beavers. Oh, we actually don't have enough. We don't have enough home space. So let me make one more home. Guess I'll just stick that right there. One more home. And so you see little ghosts of the things you're going to build when you're in the mode that's about building, but if you hit escape, then it goes back to normal. Another thing, when you're in building mode, it makes all the water really transparent, so you can plan to build things under the water. But then it turns bluer again once you go back, which is kind of cool. It took me a while to figure out what was going on there. Oh no. How much food do we have? 183? We don't have any more. Oh, let me demolish this. Let's see how far the greenery will actually go. But it might make sense for us to try to place a gatherer up here so we can keep stockpiling food. Except, to do that, we'll have to clear out some trees up here. We've got 2 unemployed beavers, though, so that might actually be just enough beavers to make this happen. So let's make a path. I think 183 food is actually probably fine, but I'm nothing if not paranoid. So the first thing we're going to do is build a new lumberjack up here. Right there. We'll employ a lumberjack to cut down enough of these trees we can make a solid path going through that area. So let's mark just the trees here as being the ones that we want to cut. So at some point, somebody's going to come over there and start working as lumberjack. We've got some homes now. Very few of our beavers have to sleep outside. Just this guy, Julgen. Julgen has to sleep outside. Ooh. Rannoth Court is suggesting that this actually makes him want to go back and try Flotsam, which is another colony sim that has to do with water. Though it's kind of inverted. It's mostly water, and you're trying to create the land to live on, instead of vice versa. Oh, looks like I've gone through the entire tutorial. Cool. Okay, so our water storage is full now. We have been making a profit. We can build a large water tank eventually, but we're going to need science and a bunch of new inventions to get there. So small water tanks is all I've got. So eventually, I'm gonna I'm gonna need a lot of water. Once we actually start getting towards a dry season, we're gonna need a lot of water. So building it up like this is a good move. Okay, so right now we've got housing for 12 beavers, and we've got almost 12 beavers. So if I want more beavers to move in, it's probably smart for me to add one more lodge. But I got to be cautious about that. I've got 2 unemployed beavers right now. I've got to be cautious about that because, oh yeah, notice they just cleared the dam that was here, and now the greenery goes this far back, and it's actually covering a lot of my little town here. So I don't want to outstrip my ability to feed the beavers. I used to have 180 berries. Now I've got 136. This is potentially quite dangerous. I need to make sure that we're providing enough food. So that means farming. So this area is not yet fully cleared out, but the area next to it is kind of ready to go. So a farmhouse, if we build a farmhouse, I kind of am inclined to build it as far away from the farmland as possible to make room for there to be more farmland. Let's build it here. And so I've got 2 unemployed beavers, which is how many it takes to run a farm. And then let's plant carrots. So there's 3 different crops that you can plant. Carrots, potatoes, and wheat. Each of them requires so carrots, you just pull them out of the ground and eat them. They're not as nutritious or productive, but they're very simple. They don't take a lot of technology. Potatoes have to be grilled. You can't just gnaw into a potato, even if you have beaver teeth, apparently. You can't just bite into a potato. You have to cook them first. And so you need to build a place to cook the potatoes. So there's one step before they're edible. Wheat, you have to grind it into flour and then bake it into bread. It takes 2 steps. So it's like the best food, but it takes a lot of extra effort. It needs a big infrastructure in order to use it. And I like that they've sort of split out the foods this way, so that each food has a really clear role to play. It's not just, do you want to make, carrots or squash? They're slightly different from each other. Like, I love that they don't make me care about that. It's all really simple and straightforward. All right, so we're ready to build that. And yeah, so we've got 2 unemployed beavers who are going to become farmers the moment that thing is built. We've already got a beaver who is clearing things out over here. I think we're pretty close to I guess we can kind of, yeah, we can draw. I just don't like drawing ugly paths. So I think if we arrange it like this, we can get a gatherer flag over here, which might be more important than the farmhouse, at least because it can give you immediate food. Oh, actually, you know what I should do? Okay, I should plant a gatherer flag over here. But now that I've gathered everything from these berries and we're just kind of waiting for them to come back, I can probably just disable. I'll just pause this gatherer flag. So I'll keep 1 beaver here, sort of keeping an eye on these bushes, and whenever they do sprout berries, a beaver will immediately grab them. Most of them are kind of underperforming. But then I'll just have 1 beaver up here kind of doing some more sustainable work on these berries. Okay, so how's the building going on this? Kind of pouring all of our logs into it. I wish that the icon for having a full tank wasn't red, because this feels like a problem when actually it's amazing. Having a full tank of water is a good situation. So Cogs continues to compare this game to reality. He's like comparing the beaver diet to the diet in this game. Just bear in mind, these are not meant to be real beavers. These are meant to be. I mean, no, humans also didn't eat any of those foods when we were first evolving. In the plains of Africa. But we eat a lot of these foods now that we have progressed into a different era in our development. So there you go. These are beavers that have changed. These are new beavers. Okay, so you'll see that I've got my 2 farmers here. They're planting 1 million carrots. That's good because, again, our food supplies are kind of going down. And you got to notice trends like that. I do wonder if it would make sense for me to build a second gatherer flag over here and just unpause this one and just wait until there's sort of a balanced amount of berries on the 2 sides and then switch it into 1 and 1. I think I might do that, actually, just to be a psycho. So, new gatherer flag over there. I can pause this gatherer flag. So we're just going to leave these berries fallow for a while. Let them, not fallow, you know what I mean. I'm just going to leave them alone and let them grow. So this is kind of what I can build. And notice, like, the farmers, they got nothing to do now. It's going to take a while for their first carrots to grow. I might not have planted enough carrots. Maybe I need to plant some more. So let's grab the plant crops dealy and give them another couple rows. And I don't know, do I want a path here or something at some point? I might want another farmhouse at some point to pour more effort into this. Yeah, another few rows of carrots. Because, this kind of farming, it's like a feast and famine type thing. It's like, you plant enough that you hope, that in the time it takes to grow more, you won't have eaten the ones that you already grew. So I enjoy the fact that actually a lot of what's going on in the chat right now is discussion of a completely different game, so I don't feel like I have to respond to it. We've got, Cloudcraft and Ranethcord talking about Darkest Dungeon. So this is about as developed as you can get without beaver science. But we need beaver science. So, actually, can we already... Let me see. Okay, we can also build a lumber mill. Do we need that in order to build a science thing? We don't. Okay, so there's one more technology that I am in a position to pursue, which is a lumber mill, making planks. And making planks is what allows me to build things like stairs and platforms to start building the stuff vertically. However, most of that stuff does still require science. So let's start with an inventor. So I guess I'll just build my inventor. Usually I like to build the inventor on top of things, because it's fun, but I can't build my first inventor there because I can't build any of the... I don't have any of the technology to build vertically until I've gotten an inventor. So let's place an inventor. We have 1 unemployed beaver, which means we can afford 1 inventor. And now... Why do I have 1? Oh, I have 1 unemployed beaver because I turned that off, but I hadn't turned that on yet. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like the beaver math is confusing me. But yeah, I've got 1 unemployed beaver, so we can employ him as an inventor, and then we're really going to want to attract some more beavers to this community. We seem to be holding steady on food. These carrots are going to grow at some point. And again, I feel like I might have enough farmers to build more. I'd also love for my lumberjacks to go after these. Where? Okay, so I've marked... Yeah, I'd love to chop down more of these trees. So maybe I should unmark some of these trees so my lumberjacks can focus down here. Because I want to turn this all into farmland. I don't want there to be trees here. I want to keep all my tree situation up here. So we're going to build that. So now, how happy your beavers are has a lot to do, I believe, with how easy it is to get recruits. So one thing I have not built yet is a campfire where the beavers can hang out at night. You'll notice that at a certain hour of the day, the beavers all stop working and they just start hanging out. And what they really want from you is one of these. So that will make the beavers happier, and I believe that will mean that they're more likely to come and be recruited. So let me add also another lodge right there. Cramming all these buildings together just because it looks cool to turn them into a little bustling hive. Okay, so we've got our inventor, so no unemployed beavers. That means if I want to do any additional jobs on top of the ones that I've already got out there, I'm going to need to recruit more beavers. Now, beavers can have children, and they can also just sort of move in from out of town. I think both of those kind of get held up if you don't have any extra housing. So building extra housing is pretty important, but you want to build it cautiously, because if you don't have the infrastructure to keep the beavers alive, having a bunch of extra beavers, it just leads to starvation. Okay, so now you can see I've got housing for 15, no homeless beavers, but yeah, but my houses are no longer full. So eventually, hopefully, new beavers will start moving into town, or they'll start having children, and the children will age up. So yeah, again, my farm is kind of full. So let's just add... I mean, I'm just going to keep adding carrots until someone tells me to stop. Yes, yeah. So basically, there's beaver happy hour. Every night, there's a beaver happy hour where the beavers try to get some entertainment going on. Yeah, so I've got 11 beavers, but room for 15. So I'm hoping that means that eventually some more beavers will start showing up. I don't know what that's going to take. But, so here's how science works. So every whatever amount of time this takes, Zala here, my scientist, is going to produce 3 of this science resource. That accumulates here, and then I use that to unlock new technologies. I can't really do much with any new technologies until I have more beavers. Ooh! Something happened. My beavers are happier than ever. You have reached a new well-being high score. 5. Yes, we have 5 well-being, which I think might be a factor that applies to growing. Oh, look! They've had 3 baby beavers. So now we've got 14 people living in this town, but 3 of them can't work yet. Hopefully they'll grow up eventually, though. I don't think I've actually, like... Which ones of these are baby beavers? Oh, there's a baby beaver! How long does it take to grow to adulthood? This thing looks like it's slowly aging up. It'll take some time. But what if I want some adults to just move in? If I want some adults to move in, I might need to build yet another lodge. So let's do that. Jedi Cytric says, it sounds like the beavers actually, contrary to their reputation, have a good work-life balance. Because they insist on recreation at night. Okay, so let's balance out our gatherers here. Having one gatherer overseeing each of these things. Actually, wait a minute. I want to unpause that one. There we go. Actually, you know what? I think that this is... I might as well just get rid of these flags right here. Because I only really want 1 beaver per bush pile right now. How am I doing on logs? I got 74 logs. That's a decent amount. Okay, they've chopped down all these trees. I think they might have run out of trees now that they've chopped down the ones that are down there. So let's mark some more trees for them to chop. Might as well, right? And actually... one thing I could do if I wanted another beaver, another worker, is I could probably tell one of these guys to stop chopping down trees. Or tell this guy. This guy's doing nothing. Actually, you know what? These trees over here are useless anyway. Let's chop them all down. Just chop every single tree down. There we go. So that guy's going to be busy. Which means maybe I actually don't need this other guy. So... if I get another job, I'll have 1 lumberjack over here and 1 lumberjack over there, and I'll have one of these lumberjacks take over the new job. Hoot91 says, take a drink every time Jeffrey says beavers. I love this game because it's weird on so many levels, including linguistically. Okay, so we're totally full up on water. Which means it's wasteful not to have more. Okay, so we now have housing for 18 beavers. We've got 15. But in terms of adults, we still only have 11. So we're still waiting for some of those kids to age up. We've got 51 science. What is that going to allow us to do? Stairs cost 70. Platforms cost 100. So building vertically costs that. The next sort of... Okay, so one thing that we should do before the next drought season is we should build a dam. I think we should probably build it over here to sort of retain as much of this water as we can. Ideally, actually, what we'd want is pumps in this deeper part. And so, actually, yeah, so let's start being more deliberate about which trees we cut down here. So let's cancel all of this cutting for now. Let's cancel all the cutting. What we really want to do is carve a path to a spot over here where we're going to put our future pumps and the path to our dam. So let's have the beavers chop all of this down. We'll draw a path over here. We'll build a dam like across this way, and then we'll be eventually installing a bunch of pumps over here. Oh crap. Okay, so the drought season is coming. I think we don't have time to build a dam in 3 days. So we are going to have a drought season where we're relying entirely on our stored water. Luckily, I think the first drought tends to be a short drought, so we're probably going to be okay. But it's making me nervous. So this drought might be a problem. But if we survive, then I just realized that one thing I'm missing. I can build a 1-story dam already across the front of this. I can't build a 2-story dam yet because that requires these solid levees, which cost 120 science. I don't have 120 science yet. So we might be building a shorter-term dam first. Let's see if we can get that dam done in 3 days. I don't think we can, but let's try it. So this is going to be our short-term dam right here. It's going to help us a little bit, but it's not going to be as good as building a dam in the deep water and keeping a big pool here for us to keep pumping water out of. So it won't be as good, but it'll be something if we can get it done. So is there anything we're building besides... This water storage is also valuable, so I'm not going to prioritize to try to get them to do the dam, because I do want them to also keep working on this water storage. As I think I might be able to fill all of this up in the next few days. Maybe, maybe not. He is keeping these guys topped up, so... Alright, so now they should... Yes, now they are working on the dam. So the rules for a dam is, like, when you place a dam, you notice it's got this little gap right up near the top. What it means is the water will fill up to the top of this level, but it will flow out through the dam before it starts overflowing onto the land. Levees are different. If you build a levee instead of a dam, the levee goes all the way to the top, and so the water will start spilling out in every direction if it gets to the top of the levee. So what you usually use those for is you use the levees for like the bottom level of a dam. Like if I were building in this sort of 2-story area over here, I would build a levee across the bottom and then build a dam across the top of the levee. So right now, you see, it takes a lot of logs to build each segment of this. So we're already at 1.8 days. They're not going to build this dam before the dry season. So hopefully we'll store enough water to keep all of our beavers alive during that time. Whew, but you see that my beavers are starting to carve into these trees here so that I guess eventually, yeah, I am going to want to build my new dam just across this entire thing to leave room for a bunch of water pumps over here. So just getting here isn't quite enough. I want to, get all the way that far. And hopefully that's not too far away from my base. So you'll notice that whenever I select my central base, you'll see that there are little paths here that are carved out in colors. Once it gets into the red, you're too far from base, and you can't build things anymore. So you have to, at that point, either build a special like builder's hut to stick more builders further out in your community, or you can build a second community to put a gateway in your path and separate out a completely separate, self-sustaining community. They can trade back and forth, but they can sort of manage itself. it's a really interesting way. Basically, it just sort of means that the entire thing is based on what the path network can handle. So I've never seen a game like this whose path network was as important as it is here. Oh, Dingus Chief says that in settings I can actually lock the camera so that I can go down to like setting, like perspectives like this and not have it snap back the moment I go away. That's good to know. I think I'm not gonna prioritize that, but thank you. Because usually I actually do want to look at it from above. All right, so whenever these little trees get bigger, I'm also going to want to cut them down. Oh, it looks like they're already marked, so no big deal there. So yeah, once we've built this, yeah, we just basically whenever I build the dam, I need to make sure that my builders can reach it. And so what that means is I want to be able to build a path network that goes all the way down here. Oh, let me make sure this isn't something important. Oh, no. It's my daughter sending me a weird meme. Okay, cool. Oh, wait. I've got 3 unemployed beavers now. My beavers have gotten older. Nice. Okay, so now that I've got 3 unemployed beavers, I should start thinking about what else I want them to be able to do. And I think 3 unemployed beavers, that's a good number of beavers because I want to build a lumber mill. Lumber mills start to introduce how power works in this game. So if you want to build a big machine, it has to be powered, which there's a few different ways. You can have a water wheel, which needs to have flowing water next to it, which, during the dry season means it won't work. And it provides a lot of power, though, when it's in operation. It doesn't require extra work. You can also build a power wheel, which is basically a hamster wheel that a hamster will run through. Not a hamster, a beaver will run in to provide power, which is cute. It means that it costs 1 extra beaver, though, to make this stuff happen. So I've got to figure out how I want to... I've never actually done a water wheel before. And it kind of makes me want to try it. Because I've never done something before. I don't know. So, okay, normally I would not want to put this near my water pumping operation, but I'm really going to do my final water pumping operation over here. So this is actually probably an okay place. So I could put this water wheel right here. This is lower priority, though, than the dam. And then, oh, actually, am I cutting? Oh, I need to cut the trees that are right there. So let's make sure that we're cutting the trees that are here. So basically, when you're building something that involves power, it has these little arrows. So it's not electricity. It's mechanical power. And so it puts a little... these little arrows out the side, and you basically can stick these logs out here that turn, and then at the very end of it, and I'm being inefficient with this just because I wanted to show you how it works. Then at the end of it, you can stick a building like a lumber mill, and it will drive the lumber mill. So yeah, I don't actually want... Well... Let's put the lumber mill here, and then put one more little power rod there. And again, let's make all of this lower priority than the dam. The dam gets precedence. So we'll just manually turn the priority on all of these down. We'll do them after the dam. But yeah, so we're going to have this, hopefully, the flowing river is going to turn this... Oh, crap! Speaking of the flowing river, there it went. We're in drought mode now. So you'll see the water is just flowing out and nothing new is flowing in. So this entire lake is going to dry up too as the water flows out. And we're going to have no greenery for the next 3.5 days. That's actually pretty long for this early in the game. So this is going to be a pretty bad drought. Hopefully I have enough water stored up here that at least the beavers can drink. I think I've got enough food stored up. And actually... the carrots don't immediately die the moment they dry out. They start drying out. They'll die in 1.6 days. So I've got 1.6 days for these beavers that are working at the farmhouse to gather as much of this as they possibly can. And actually, it might make sense for me to build another farmhouse just to get more beavers on this job, though it's probably not going to help this time around. But yeah, I can build a second farmhouse right here. And that will just put more beavers on the job of harvesting so they can get it done faster. Cloudcraft says, oh, the game wants you to have a reservoir, which you haven't built. Yes, exactly. So that's what I'm planning for this area right here. I'm going to build a dam across this and fill this up with water and then put my water pumps here. And this will retain a lot of water. It'll back up the water all the way over to here. And so all of this water will be retained and will be flowing down into this pit where I'm going to be pumping it out. And even, it might even keep flowing. While I'm sucking the water out down here. It might even keep the lumber mill running, which would be interesting. All right. So, yeah, 2.3 days. We've still got a fair amount of water left. I'm hoping we don't start dying of thirst. This stuff is going to die in 0.6 days. We're probably only going to be able to harvest maybe a couple more before we run out. But we've got enough food. I think we're good on food. We're not going to starve to death. We're gonna die of thirst. 2 days left. Get those carrots before they die. Oh no, they're starting to die. Get the carrots before they die. No, 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 no. They're all... Salvage them. Salvage the carrots. Come on, work as hard as you can, little beavers. Oh. All right. Oh, they're going through their water storage. I should have had 2 pumps going. Oh, I should have done so much. Okay, I do have enough science, I think, to unlock levees. So we're going to unlock levees so that we can build our reservoir. Okay, we've got 1.2 days left. We've got a little bit of water. Oh, we're out of water. Okay, we're going to have to survive a day without water. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm very worried. Because this game is brutal about killing your beavers. It will kill all your beavers if it can. Huh, I wonder why. Oh, it's too far from the builders. They won't keep building the dam because it's too far away. I need to get paths closer. Okay, so eventually I'm going to build a path over here anyway to connect to the dam. So let's go out here. Okay, and now this can be built. I don't remember if levees require plank. No, they just require logs. Okay, cool. Okay, 0.4 days. Everybody's thirsty. We got 18 beavers. One of them a child. Oh no, we have 17 beavers! No! Oh, they're happy. They're happy, but Vika J died of thirst. No, 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 no. The water's about to come back. It's going to come back. Everyone just hold on. Okay, 0 days. Here it comes. Here it comes. But we still have to pump it out and we still have to drink it. So, and it's got to get to me. It's got to slowly flow down this riverbed. I'm at 17 beavers. 2 of them are children, which means that I've lost a second beaver. 2 have died of thirst. Oh, what terrible times to be trying to rear children. Cog says, why are they happy? I think it's because of the, progression and the amenities that I've got. I'm not dead certain, actually. I haven't put enough study into how the morale system works. Okay, okay. Yes. Filling up the farmland. Getting to the pump. Okay, the pump's working. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Start collecting water. Yes. Collect water, collect water, collect water. Don't go to bed, you idiots. You're thirsty. Oh, you jerks. Can't even take care of yourselves. Our population's down to 11 now. Ugh. But we've got enough water, in theory. Okay, so I don't know whether I want to continue building this dam or just start on the levee. I probably want to continue with the dam. Just because there's a good chance I won't finish the levee by the next dry season. I don't want to be dependent on that. So let's finish this dam. You can see that my water wheel is working. That's pretty cool. I'm down to 4 beavers. I'm down to 4 beavers. We've failed. Okay. No. Actually, we've got enough food to feed 4 beavers. Let's just pause our farmhouses. Let's pause our inventor. Everybody needs to work here. Somebody needs to work here. Let's pause this. Let's pause everything. What we need is water. I don't know if I can come back from this. Oh, this is terrible. Go get some water. Where are people working? The district center? Stop it. Stop working at the district center. I don't have enough beavers to run the pump. Can I pause? Okay, I can pause the district center. Finally, somebody works at the water pump. Is that going to be enough? Are they going to be able to survive? Okay, it's pumping water. We just lost. We lost an adult. We've only got 1 adult left, and all he's doing is pumping water. Oh, no. It's a beaver apocalypse. But, we do have somebody working on the water now. And we've got 2 children who can grow up. There might still be hope. There might actually still be hope. But let's wrap up this video on a cliffhanger. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring this colony back from the brink of destruction. But you can see what kind of game this is, right? So, if you want to see what happens next, subscribe to my channel. Click the link. If I manage to pull this out, I'm going to put a video there of me pulling it out. And, yeah, I hope that it works.